Right, thank you all for coming. I'll try not to bore you, and as you know, I'm not a public speaker, so I'm afraid there's going to be lots of ums throughout the talk. The first one. Well, you have all been, when we announced that I was going, and everybody started donating, especially from the things I requested from the Giving Tree. I've just been overwhelmed every single time on a scripture verse, which I felt it's important to read, because every single item that I was given, it came to me over and over again. So this is Matthew 25, 35 to 36. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. That over and over again, every single item that you gave me has met every single area of that bit of scripture. You have done what is said there to all of these people in Uganda that I went out to see. So we went the 6th of the to the 12th, 18th of June. Our trip nearly didn't happen with lots of different reasons, but we got there in the end. We fought through and we got there. We were meant to be going. As I say, your generosity in all that you gave was unbelievable. We're just going through some of the things. We took over 7,000 pencils. I was going to take over 6,000, but the level of pencils that came in, we actually took over 7,000 pencils. So we were able to give out a pencil to every single child in the schools where we went around. We also, the donations that you gave in, we were able to buy some of the bigger stuff, things like the skipping ropes and the tennis balls, as you'll see, they go down very well with the children, and the footballs and netballs, and we took over about 1,000 pens, and there's rubbers and sharpeners, and just all the scholastic materials as well. Also, the amount of knitting, dolls and jumpers, cardigans, hats, bootsies, everything we took over was unbelievable. And also the homemade skirts as well that were done. So everything needs to get packed up in the bags. All of the donations of the toothpaste, brushes, all of that, we were able to make up the packs for the sponsored children, some of the sponsored children, and to give to other children as well that we met, the poorest of the poor. So the week before we left, we managed to get most of the packing done, and then the following week just did the last minute stuff. So we actually took over the 19 bags. I thought it might be about 15, 16, but no, it was 19. And unexpectedly as well, the finances came in. Everybody's so generous, the finances came in, but we didn't need to fundraise for those extra bags. We had that money sitting, which was amazing. So we had a smooth departure, despite the fact that our flights were cancelled because of the Ebola outbreak. I wasn't worried about it. I was in contact with those in Uganda. They had only 3 confirmed cases. There were 45 million people in Uganda. Wasn't going to be a problem, but because it was right throughout the media, Uganda had been very, very quick in closing borders and isolating people and everything. They'd got on top of it very, very quickly. But thankfully we got a new flights and were diverted through Nairobi. So we had 3 flights instead of 2 flights. And we set off at a slightly more reasonable time, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 6 in the morning. But we did an overnight flight instead. And then when we got to Uganda, thanks to all your prayers, first of all, we had to go through an online thing to declare that we were well and had our temperatures taken just as we came off the plane. Then we went to immigration to get my visa. I have never had an immigration officer engage with me, speak with me, chat with me. And all the times I've been, this is 10 times I've been, and this is the first time ever there. And he chatted away, and he was saying, I can see you've been to Uganda before. And I go, no, why? And he said, because you've come. He said, you understand that it's okay here. And I said, yes, I've got friends here. And he chatted away. After seeing to him, I went to get the bags. Every single bag had been collected off the bag reclaim and were on trolleys ready. I had just heard my name called, Rachel, and they're all sitting there, and they all got just pushed over to the customs area. They were put through the scanners, no problem at all. I took the paperwork that I had got, gave it to two very serious looking officers sitting at a table. They just kind of took it off me, so I went and made sure all the bags were through and got back onto the trolleys, went back to them, and they literally didn't even look at me. They just went like that and gave me the paperwork. And I'm thinking, I have never had it so easy as that. Thank you so much for your prayer, because that definitely got us through that without any issue at all, and we got out and away, which was super. So for those who don't know, we arrived in Entebbe, and we went about a 2-hour drive north of Kampala to the rural parish of Malawi. And we arrived about lunchtime on the Sunday. We were kind of a day less on our trip because of that. We have our reception committee. Brother Herman, who is a seminarian, he is just about to start his 4th year pastoral, doing his pastoral work. So he's going in to do practical experience in a parish. But he was just waiting, because he's from a larger parish, he was waiting in the priest's house till he heard where he was going. We've got Father Gerald, who you all know is my great friend from who we first met when he came to Inverurie. Then Father Ambrose is one of the 3 priests that helped the parish. 25,000 parishioners and only 3 priests. And Brother Michael is a seminarian from Vietnam. I think he's possibly been ordained in December, but he's doing a 8 months placement with 2 other seminarians from Vietnam. And he was placed with Father Gerald. No English or anything, but in 2 months he was really good at how much English he had learned, and he's also learning the local language too. So he's doing really well in 2 languages at once. He was such a gentle man. He was such a beautiful soul. I really both the seminarians were they're so attentive of us. They looked after us so well. And then Paul is a good friend of mine who is discerning a vocation again to the priesthood. He's been a friend of mine for many years. So this is in Father Gerald's office, trying to unpack all our bags. It's not a big space, as you see, but that's where we have to pack so precisely before we go, so we can unpack easily. And that's just kind of getting to the end of unpacking some of the bags, but we had on the Sunday when we arrived, we had a rest day. On the Monday, we had a day to unpack, but we didn't have anything else happening because Father had had to go to a meeting with the bishop, so we had a kind of a second rest day, but it didn't mean we could get everything sorted properly. Brother Herman took on the job of picking up the balls, so 54 balls, and then the next day, on the Tuesday, we started doing the rounds. So the first one, official, we had the official opening of the medical centre with the staff accommodation. So 3, 2, 1, 0. So we came into the there, and it was just everybody was there and walked straight into that, not really know what was going on. So that was a huge kind of like thing. So the health centre, you can see at the staff accommodation is what we were fundraising for. We raised £18,000, so it just finished building it just before we got there. So this is was the official opening of it. And then we came back back to seats in the chairs, and then we had speeches that went on and on and on, which is good. It's good. And presents giving, and one of the gifts in the top left was a big picture with this wording on, thanking us for what we've done.
Mama Rachel.
Yes. Which was a gift for us, so we can all fight who's going to have it on our wall. And then we did which we normally do, give out the monthly supplies to the elderly and the sick and the vulnerable. So which are the 5 kilos of maize flour, which is those bags, a kilo of rice, a kilo of sugar, 50 grams of salt, and a long bar of soap, which they can use for washing themselves or clothing. Just going to pan down and see the group. So we've got it doesn't matter what people backgrounds and faith are. If they're the poorest of the poor in the catchment area of the diocese of the parish, they are Father highlights them to that they need support. Then the charity provides that support for them. It's not under the church. It's whoever needs help in that parish.
Saint Joseph, but you got married.
They have a double hug, but some don't, and some just do elbows, and it's always trying to work out what is it going to be. They were doing that for over about 350 people, so giving it all out. And then they give gifts to us. And it can just be 2 eggs in a little black bag. It just, they give of their nothing. That's sugar cane. Thank you so much. Paul was my hat cameraman that day, which was good. They sang to us as well, which is a very good. So after we did that, we started to work through the next few days, work through the sponsored children, giving them the bags that the sponsors had given them, or if they some sponsors chose to provide bags for their children. Other children, we through all the donations we'd given, we made up bags for those children as well. In the bags there was a pencil case full of scholastic materials that are needed, and a wash bag with toothpaste, brush, sponge or cloth and soap for the children. That's kind of the basics, and usually in a shoe bag. So we gave those out. So the donations that you gave of that were great, because I was able to make sure not only they had, but we met, again, these are more children. We had met 41 of the 45 children who are on the sponsorship program. And so with us, some of these children have just got a pencil case and some clothes, because they don't have sponsors yet. But they've just come onto the program when we took their information about them. And these are the original sponsored children that we started with way back in the beginning. So they're kind of like going off the top. We used to go down to Masaka to see them. So we have 6 children left on our waiting list for the sponsorship program. So Father gave me another 13, so of 19 children, but we possibly might have about 11 of them already sponsored. So, but if anybody else is considering sponsorship, the kind of thing is the likes of Andrew here. He's had a really difficult life with his sister, losing his parents, moving with his grandmother as an orphan. His 2 sisters had sickle cell. They've been part of the sponsorship program for a while, and especially as they needed money for their medication for the sickle cell. But then his biggest sister, oldest sister, Fiona, I think it was 2022, she was only 10 years old and she died with the sickle cell. So he's lost, he's had a lot of sadness in his life and things. So, but he's such a sweet boy. So he's an example of the children that we're having sponsorships for. And likes of Aisha, she had lost both her parents in the same year again, at 2022, and her grandmother, living with a grandmother, but her grandmother and the family do not consider education to be important at all, and she has been really struggling because they won't allow her to school. So a young man that I was sponsoring, he found her, and we spoke through Father Gerald about it all, to see if she could come onto the sponsorship program to give her a chance, because she's been in a very bad place because of everything that's gone on, losing her parents and everything. So so these are sort of the children. All the children have difficult stories with one thing or another, and are poorest of the poor that are on our sponsorship, the ones that Father has highlighted as needing help. Then also Father highlighted 19 other children who were poorest of the poor, that just needed clothing. So they were filing through the whole time, but we managed, again, because of pencil cases, we're able to give each child a pencil case to take away, as well as some clothing as well. So and then after we've done all of that, though I kept having to say to Father, please, no more kids, or bring the kids before we get rid of all the clothes to the schools, because he kept finding another one all the time. But eventually we managed to meet it up with giving out the clothes to the schools, and managing to find clothing for all of the children that needed them. So we took the supplies that we were given. Lots of people gave lots of different things to me to take to the health centre. This is Sister Edith.
Hello, I'm so happy, I'm so grateful. This is Sister Edith from Large Health Center. We are so grateful for all these. We are grateful to Mama Rachel. We are grateful to Madam Esther. The Wasawas are all here, very happy. We have received a very big bundle. Thank you so much. The clothes are plenty. We are so grateful for everyone who contributed, and we pray that God may bless you abundantly. Thank you so much.
Such a lovely lady. So we took out the biggest amount of children's clothes we've ever, of baby clothes. They use the baby clothes to encourage the mothers to come for antenatal appointments and to have the children in the health centre deliver the babies, which saves lives. It is a real life-saving thing. So when I take the clothes out, they have them, and they use them really powerfully to make sure the mothers are getting the health care that they need by encouraging them to come in. There was a lovely fracture boot and the JD bag was full of paracetamol and ibuprofen. I've never taken so much. They were so delighted because those are just basics that they really find very, very helpful. And all sorts of other medical equipment that we were given. So they were absolutely delighted with what you donated, and I was able to take over. The glasses, so all the glasses that were handed in, they were in that bag there. So Sister decided to sport some of the to try them on to let you see, and so did the gentleman. I can't remember his name. And then the bras and pants. The bras and pants we didn't need for anything. The teenagers and things, so we gave them to the health centre, which they will give them out to the women when they come in. So then we were taken round to see the mattresses that we had bought the last time, and the baby cot, and the examination table, which we had bought the last time we were there. Then we went to see again the ultrasound machine, which is used a lot. And then the very first item that we ever bought for the health centre, which was the labour table. The first time when I went to the health centre, the labour table was literally one leg had rusted off and it was been propped up on bricks. So if a woman moved too much in labour, then the whole thing helped over. So that was the very first thing we bought, was a new labour table. And also, we from our last visit, we had bought a new motorbike for the health centre, because the other one was quite aged. I think it was a good 10 years old, and it needed replacing. So this was the new motorbike that we had raised money for when we came back, and so they were showing us the bike. So we do the school visits. We have support 18 primary schools and 3 secondary schools. We're currently feeding 6,024 children on a daily basis. In the senior schools, we put money into their food, into their school meal system, so that anybody who is from the poorest of the poor family, I don't have to pay for their meals. These are often children who've got scholarships to be in the senior school, but the families are the poorest of the poor, so they can't afford the food. So that it means that the children can access the food as well. We got amazing feedback from the schools about the charity's work. Sorry, I'm going to have to remind myself because my brain keeps going blank. The school meals is a huge thing for the schools. The regular support from our visits, the resources that we give to them when we visit, and also the buildings that we have been doing in some of the schools. It now means that the parish schools, the 18 parish schools, have the highest school rolls and the best academic performance over all the other schools in the parish. It's hugely impacting the schools that we are helping. And not only that they are managing to achieve have achievements in things like sports and music, choir, at district level, regional level, and even international level from these little schools. So it is hugely impacting the small amount we are doing is making a huge impact to these schools. Also, our regular visits, when we've been on a regular year after year, it brings even more children in. And the numbers are kept high if the school management is good. But Father does say that, because we did see some schools that had dropped in their roles, but that Father had explained was, one was new schools had been built beside some, so people had tried the new schools and we hadn't been for 18 months. And the other thing was the headmaster had needed to be removed. But we met the new headmaster, he'd just been there 2 weeks, and there was a vibrancy in the school. It'd gone down from 250 children down to 80, so it dropped a lot. But I could see with the new headmaster that it was going to come back up again easily. So. When we give out the tennis balls in particular, they always get the biggest shout. The kids love them when they see the tennis balls, and the pencils as well, but the tennis balls. And we've got we give out the scholastic materials to the schools, the footballs, netballs, and the bags with the clothes and the shoes. So each of the 18 schools get that.
Forever singing to you and making you happy. You are welcome.
That was the school that had just received a new headmaster, and that they definitely had a vibrancy about them, which was lovely to see. And then we give out the sweets. This year it was lollipops, so you'll see lots of pictures with kids with a stick sticking out of their mouths. So one of the schools, they had 900 children, and Esther and I managed to give out it to every single child. That was a feat. And then they give us gifts. This is that school that had 900 children. So we have to touch the things to receive them. The amount of food that we were given over the 9 days we were there of going round. And then with the schools also, they have been receiving books and books abroad. I can't remember what year but previously they have received one assignment. But Books Abroad said they were sending to Uganda again, and would we like to have some sent to the schools again? So we got in contact and set it all up. So the assignment arrived on the 1st of March. St Kukula Lowanga, which is a secondary school beside the parish house, they received 30 boxes because the two main schools applied, and but the Books Abroad actually sent out 3 crates which had 30 boxes on each crate. So but in actual fact there was 100 boxes total that went out. So all the senior books went to St Kukula Lowanga, and then the rest were shared around the other schools.
Thank you, Books Abroad, for our books. We received them also in one of our schools. This one of our schools we have received. We distributed them in over 20 schools. Thank you very much. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Some are academic and some are reading books and just everything. They do not have books like this in the schools. So this is a huge thing for them. They were all of the schools. It was the biggest thing. Every school we went round to, the reaction we were getting because of these books that they had just received, it was just off the scale. They were so delighted to have actual proper books in the school. It was such a big, and when the children were getting them, they could see them, they were like, I want to look at this and I don't want to hand it back. But they are being using them with the children, but it's so delightful. Then we had the official opening of the classroom that we and kitchen block that we were fundraising for. Our understanding that it was going to be a wooden structure. But Father, using the exchange rates that were very, very good recently, has actually managed to build a proper brick building. So he said we were going to go to a ceremony to open it up, to officially hand it over and everything, which was great. But he didn't realise the level that they had it to. So when we arrived, there was a big gate that it made up and banners and things. I had to cut the ribbon to go through the gate. Then we were going up. And then I had to plant a tree. And then we had Esther had to cut the ribbon and unveil the day that she had unveiled the classroom. Esther is Jane's daughter. I forgot to say that at the beginning. She is Jane Smith, her daughter, and Esther is an officer in the RAF, engineer. But she doesn't like the limelight. So this is quite hard for her to be in front of everybody and having to do this. But I saw Father's reasoning, telling her who she was and her name's on the building to inspire the school to achieve high, because this engineer came to open their school building, which was a lovely idea. And then I had to cut a very high ribbon in the kitchen block to open the kitchen block. So they had all different sorts of entertainment. And then the gifts, we had 4 chickens, I don't know if you can see them sitting there. We had multiple amounts of chickens given to us while we were there, and a goat. So that was that one, sorry. And now I'll go through the things that were given out that were donated to me, take out. So we've got all the skirts and handmade skirts and dresses. So there's a few of them. There was huge amounts of them, but just these are a collection of some of the photographs. And the knitted dolls. The knitted dolls were just absolutely loved by the children. You can see. I can't even think how many we took out, but they all went easily. We could have given out loads more, but we chose the kind of the preschool children to give them out to mainly. Also, one of our parishioners crocheted a shawl and asked me to give it to somebody. So this is Ruth. Ruth is blind, and so we gave it to her, and she was so delighted to receive it. And then also I was given some lab coats They couldn't use them in the health centre, but Father found a use for them. So now all of the men who are doing all the gardens and everything like that, they've got beautiful lab coats on to wear to keep themselves clean. So that was nothing. There's always a use for everything that goes out. And then also we got donated robes from, I think, West Hills parish. Father gave them to me, and Father Tad gave them to me, and so I took those out, and then they wore them on the Sunday that we were there for Mass with that. So looking at the church, we went in, so this is the church thing. It used to have a very dark tiled floor, just kind of like terracotta or stone tiles, small ones. And the parishioners for the last 9 years saved up to be able to tile the rest of the church, so like the altar was. So this is them just not long had the new tiles down. The church is beautiful, it really is. But still, it's around in the afternoon, it is like an absolute oven. When they have adoration all day, I nipped in at lunchtime and thought, I can't bear to be in here more than about 15 minutes because I was just melting. But it's a beautiful church. But my favourite time is first thing in the morning. It's 6:30 in the morning, the sun coming in. It's just absolutely beautiful being in the church. Visiting this elderly and sick, we had Teresa and Henry here. Henry's completely blind. His wife Teresa is only partially sighted, so the little grandson there who was kind of on hand to help look after them. We met Bugura. His muscles on his arms are huge because his legs are paralysed. But his bike is well used. He got a new one 18 months ago, but again, it's needing attention. But that's one of the things of the charity that we do. We've got Angela and her daughter Bernadette. Angela became bedridden, unwell, so her daughter moved in with her to look after her. And then Bernadette ended up having a stroke herself, so the two of them bedridden. Bernadette is on the right hand side, she's the daughter, and now they have an adult granddaughter looking after them. We have Kavina and Anna. They were two ladies who were in a house. It was really, really dark. I didn't actually could see what Kavina looked like until I took a photograph with my camera and then looked at the photograph because it was so dark. But they're looked after by I don't think she's a relative. I think she's like a neighbour or somebody who lives with them who cares for them. But we were going around giving the monthly supplies to the people who were housebound, who weren't able to come. And we met Josephine again, 103 now, still going strong. She was kneeling down to greet Father, but she's still walking around and so full of joy. She's the most joyous lady you could ever meet. And then we have Annette. Annette we met, and Father told us her story. She's lives with her sister. She was abandoned and thrown out of the marital home by her husband because she was ill. They don't know what's wrong with her, but she's getting worse. So we were given money for projects to help when we were across there. So we left money with Father so that she could have proper a medical assessment to find actually why not what's wrong, because they think, it might be cancer, but she's dying. I think, well, it might be something that's treatable. So we've left money for her to actually go and find out what is the matter with her. And then Veronica and Catherine, we left money for them. Veronica was very active in the community. She was part of the choir and everything, and she had a stroke. She had to move in with family members and leave, and has gone into a deep depression because she's kind of lost everything. But Father said if we could get a wheelchair for her, that would allow her to come back to join the community a bit more. And the same with Catherine. She was borrowing a wheelchair, but it was only occasionally she could get it, so for her to have a wheelchair as well. Catherine we met 18 months ago when she was unwell, but she's still bedridden but can get up in a wheelchair, so he was asking if we could have wheelchairs for them. We met Aloysius again. He again was unwell, so Father was arranging for him to be treated by the health centre to find out what was going on, most probably malaria again. And then we also met Kavina. Kavina, when we were giving her the food and speaking to her, Esther noticed there was a little face in the room next door, so we had lollipops and things, so we often gave to the children of the household. But when we went through, we realised it was a little girl on the floor. Her name's Maria, and she's 7 years old. I'm pretty certain it's cerebral palsy that's wrong with her. But it was so we gave the lollipop. She took it. She knew to take the paper off, but she couldn't do it. So I took the paper off for her and gave it to her. So she knew what to do with everything. And then I just rewarded her with the most beautiful smile. So I asked Father again what we could do for her, because I could see she's just lying on a sack on the floor, on a cement floor, and she'll have spent her life like that. So we've arranged for Father to get a small mattress that she's got somewhere to lie during the day, but also to provide a wheelchair like we got for another lad a few years ago called Francis, that's a padded, more supportive wheelchair so that she can be taken out and again be more part of the community as well. But she was just such a beautiful girl, the smiling and girl, just lovely to be around. And then we spotted Emmanuel in a class when we were in assembly when we were at his school. Both Esther and I noticed him, but Father didn't. But when we came away, we mentioned to him about Father, and we were talking about him. And we wondered if we could do something for him. So Father stopped the car and we reversed and we went back to the school and tried to find him. They kept producing, they produced another child that wasn't him. But eventually we managed to, through the photographs, find out which child we meant. And so he's got quite a bad squint on both eyes. So we've left money for him to be able to go and see a specialist to see if there's something, because his eyesight's so bad he won't be able to see much at all, to see if there's something can be done to help him. So we had the official handing over of the new houses that we built since our last visit for individuals. So Frederick, last time, he had land he inherited from his grandfather, but his family members had tried to take it off him. And Father Gerald found out about it, became involved, and managed to secure the land back to him. But Frederick was asking for a house. So we managed to raise and build a house for him. So he had the house and a latrine at the back. It's just a 2-roomed house, but the difference in him it's exactly what the charity does. We go into the poorest of the poor and their situations, and we help raise them up. And you can see him, he's got learning difficulties, but you can see his how much happier he was in himself. And he had standing in the community. He wasn't a nobody anymore. He was part of the community. He used to live in that kitchen shelter. So now he's got that new house now. That's where he lives. So it's a huge difference for him, and he has a quality of life now. We also in 2024 met Jacqueline and David's in their house where it had been completely demolished by a storm, which was a mud house with a straw roof. By chance, I had their sponsors with me on that visit, and they very, very kindly offered to build them a house. So that started to be built, and then this is the house that they've got now. So the house is in both their names. and we've formally handed over the keys. And in the house, they've got the 2 bedrooms, and they've got a dining area in the living room. So this is a much better scenario for both of them. Both of them are at boarding school, but they've got somewhere now. They've got a home. They've actually got a home to go back to. They've also got the latrine at the back as well. The latrine now has basically become the community's public toilet, but that's absolutely fine. There's not a problem with that. And also the house is the best house in the area now, and is the community use it for, if they've got a meeting, they'll sometimes have a meal there or a meeting there. But that is actually very good, because their father is looking so much better. He has a drink problem, and they weren't expected to live much longer, but he had already tried to sell Jacqueline into marriage to get the what's it called? Dowry, yes. And this is why father had removed her to the school as a boarder, and David as well. But now all the community knows exactly how things stand. They know that Jacqueline and David own the house, not the father, so he cannot sell it from under them. And the community also, because they're having meetings occasionally in the house, they're keeping an eye on the house to make sure that everything's as it should be. So it's working very well and doing really well. Our main priority and new projects from our visit for this year from now on is from this family. We met this family in 2017 for the first time. Serafina has got cerebral palsy. She can't walk. She can only crawl along the floor. And her husband is a lot older, and he's also got problems with his legs. When we met them, they had Agatha and Pius at the time, but she'd lost a child in between. As a toddler, he'd fallen into a bowl of water, a basin of water, and drowned before she managed to find him and save him. So they'd had quite a difficult time. The poorest of the poor family, really, really a poor family. So we've been following them and supporting them. They're part of the monthly food program and everything like that. And we saw them in 2024. As well, caught up each year. Each time we go out, we meet up with them. Serafina had the most beautiful smile, and she was just, everybody I've taken out to meet her, all are really impacted by her. But sadly, 2 months later, she died. Boxing Day on 2024, she died, and it's left the family bereft with, because they have 4 children now. And just Matthias left. And then we heard on the 23rd of March this year, Matthias died too. He died of malaria and stomach problems. So they were all left with orphans, so which is not uncommon in Uganda. So Agatha's 16, and Pius, Emmanuel, and Proscovia. They're all under the sponsorship program now, and at their father's funeral, Father Gerald said, "Please, can you help this family?" So Pius and Emmanuel are living with one family, and Proscovia is living with another family, and Agatha is away, far away, at college, training to be a hairdresser. So the plan is for her to do her training and come back and be at home, work from home, and look after the children. It's a huge undertaking for a 16-year-old, but that is the plan. The plan that we would like to do, this is their current home, which is better than it was, but it's still a very poor house, is to build a new house like with David and Jacqueline. So they've got a proper house with an extra room on it, so that Agatha can do her hairdressing from there and be at home with the children. So we can kind of raise their level up. We are all, as a charity, we are constantly supporting the children. We at the moment paying for their keep with the families they're at, and we're keeping an eye on them. But if we can get them established in a new home and things set up, they have a beautiful lady who lives just across away from them, who's been keeping an eye on the family, even when Serafina was still alive, and they're very, very close with her. Agatha stays with her when she's back from her holidays from college, and so the whole setup will really work well if we can build this house for the family. So we're looking to try and raise £6,000 to build the family a home and get the things settled for them. So it would be, our hearts went out for the children with their loss, but we can help. We can do something about it and help them have a better future with that. So other projects are identified. We have the convent. The nuns look after quite a few orphans, and they came to us asking if there's any way we could put new corrugated sheets for the roof of the kitchen, because it was leaking all the time. And also if we could put an indoor toilet and wash area in a room that they've already got. Also the schools asked for help too. We've got one wanting electricity, 3 are wanting access to water rather than having to travel a long way to go with jerry cans to get water for the school. So access water with a borehole. The St. Kaluli Lawanga, sorry, my tongue's tied today, is at the secondary school, and the school is, all of the secondary schools are growing in number, and they are needing to build a new girls' dormitory, and they were asking if we could have donations towards cement bags. St. Joseph Magogo, they want a dormitory, and St. Charles Lagwanga Kabani is a staff accommodation, and St. Magaga, the baby classroom. So these are all on the list. Father kind of put them in priority of where he felt they stood. But a lot of these things roll on to different years till we manage to get around to doing them, because we concentrate on our priority first. We went to see the bishop again, to keep things him up to knowledge of what the charity's doing, and also to really reaffirm our relationship specifically with Father Gerald, that the whole thing works because of him, his ability, the relationship that we've built up over the years, and that's why it works so well, which in turn benefits everybody within the parish. So this is the second time I've met him. He just started the first time I met him. This time he was much more relaxed, and it was a really good meeting. So an unexpected souvenir from the visit. I managed early one morning to trip up the step in that doorway there. That's a church. We're going to church. And I managed to hurt my foot, which was supposedly a sprain. So we carried on, going around 5 schools, going to visit the bishop, going to do a thing for the last 2 days of the visit, and holding on to Father's hand on his arm the whole time to get round. And got home, came to Mass, and Dr. Anne asked to look at my foot and told me to go and get it x-rayed. So yes, it was broken. I broke my 4th and 5th metatarsals, and so I've been booted. I've only got about a week or 2 left, so nearly there. Right, so next year is our 20th anniversary, the 20 years since I met Father Gerald in this church, in this hall. So as part of that, we're going to try and get Father Gerald over across next July to visit here. Also, it's his 25th, his silver anniversary for his ordination in August as well. So God willing, we will hopefully brings Father Gerald over to visit, so you can all get to meet him again, or for the first time next year. And we're also going to try and work out all that the charity's done in that 20 years to have a record of what we've done. So thank you for listening. Sorry, it's been a bit... Yeah.
May the protection of the Lord come down. Amen. Let the protection of the Lord come down as we pray.